Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. Today we've got a spoiler review for the Suicide Squad. So I guess spoiler warning for those of you who haven't seen the movie. It's out in America now, so for those of you who are in America, you can go watch it on HBO Max. And if you're in the UK, go to the cinema or get screwed, I guess, because in the UK I don't think they... Well, we still don't have HBO Max, and I don't know if this is even on Sky.
You might be able to watch it on Sky, if you've got Sky.
Is it? Is it on Sky?
Possibly. I'll check that up while we're recording the video, but yeah, let's carry on.
Yeah. But yeah, movie's out now, so if you haven't seen it, go watch it. As you saw from our spoiler-free review, we thought it was amazing. And speaking of our spoiler-free review, as one last spoiler warning, just don't watch this review if you're going into the movie, because there's a lot to spoil, because in the first 10 minutes, half of the cast dies. So that was like... Yeah. A huge thing that happens in the movie. I mean, that was like... I wasn't expecting that to happen. I mean, which characters died? Hold on, let me... You go through the ones that you like remember off the top of your head, and I'm going to look at the cast while you do that.
I don't remember the guy... The start of the movie, I don't remember his name. The guy that they start off with, from his point of view. I don't remember his name.
Michael Rooker's character. Yeah.
So they start off with him, like that's like basically the whole... first 5 minutes of the movie is basically from his point of view, and I guess you meet like loads of the members. So you meet Blackguard, Captain Boomerang's back. I mean, Weasel's there.
TDK, who's played by Nathan Fillion, Javelin, Harley Quinn, and Rick Flag. I think those are the people you meet at the start in it. What was that other character's name? She was like the orange lady.
Mongol something.
Was that her name?
It's something like that. I'm pretty sure it's Mongol or Mongol something.
Yeah, I'm looking at... Oh, Mongol. Yeah, I'm looking at the...
Yeah.
Okay. Mongol. God's sake.
So, yes.
Yeah.
They all die.
Every single one of those characters dies, in very violent and, just... disturbed ways, which I mean, that set the tone for the movie instantly. I mean, when all those characters died, especially with some of the actors that played them as well. I mean, the
scenes were really good. I thought everything the way that they all died was really good.
I mean,
obviously,
the second I knew the movie that I was in for was when Captain Boomerang threw that boomerang and it sliced the top of the guy's head off.
Yeah, that was really good. This is one thing I got annoyed about that scene, which was I thought they were going to try in the helicopter scene, Captain Boomerang makes a few jokes, and then he has that scene where he chops the guy's head off, and the editing and everything, that scene just looked really good. I thought they were going to redeem Captain Boomerang, and then he dies about 5 seconds later.
Yeah, I thought so as well, but I don't know.
I think this is one of the funniest parts of the movies for me, and the funniest thing I've seen in cinema for a long time was Weasel's death, which is straight as soon as they jump out of the helicopter.
In quotation marks.
Yeah, death is quotation marks, because we're in spoilers already. He's the first post-credit scene, he's alive.
Well, it's not even post-credits, they show a title card and then they show that.
They're counting it as a post-credit scene, everyone I've seen. Anyway,
that's what I saw as well. I thought that was pretty funny. And they showed it again.
That was. I thought the whole Weasel joke where he's did no one check Weasel could swim, and then you just hear him screaming, and then he, supposedly dies, and then comes back. I thought that whole thing was just completely hilarious, and then pretty much everyone else dies in that scene except for Rick Flag and Harley Quinn, because obviously they're going to be in the main squad. I was not expecting all those characters to just die straight off the bat.
I wasn't either. I mean, I had a feeling that they wouldn't have that many characters, or a lot of them would die at some point, because for a cast that big, you can't have that, can you? You can't have that many characters and develop them all and make them all interesting. But
yeah, true.
The whole not within the first 10 minutes, I wasn't expecting that. The way half of them died as well. It was a big shock, I think, because but I think it was good because it sets the as soon as they killed off one, not Weasel, but I don't know who the first one was to die after that. But as soon as they killed off one, I was pretty much thinking, they're all going to die except for Harley. The good thing for that, though, it sets the tone for the movie. It sets a high stakes, because it's if they're killing, especially with the certain characters that they killed at the start, if they're going to kill these characters, then it's okay, then who knows who could die later, especially with what does happen later on in the movie.
You know, one thing that set the tone for me, which is like in the first few seconds of the movie. You know when that Michael Rooker's character throws the ball and he hits the bird and he squashes the bird and you see
and then he catches
and stuff. That in terms of like violence and stuff, I think that like I knew then from then on there was like that was going to be.
If you threw a ball at a bird in real life, would it actually kill it like that?
It was quite a small bird, and he like smacked it with quite a bit of force, so maybe.
Yeah, so I was thinking that how did that die? But I mean, the movie's like ridiculously over the top anyway, which is kind of part of its fun. Which is what I wanted from the Mortal Kombat movie, but we didn't get that. But I'm not going to talk about the Mortal Kombat movie for this review because I don't know. I mean,
that's Warner Brothers as well, so I don't even know.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know.
No, I mean, I think we could delve into this about, like, you was making the point of why didn't they let them go, if you know, like with Zack Snyder's Justice League, why didn't Warner Brothers let him do some of the stuff that they clearly let James Gunn do with this movie? I was saying to you, obviously, because I think it was characters that no one particularly cares about, except for Harley Quinn.
Like Harley Quinn, yeah.
And then, they wanted to take a risk, they took a massive risk, and it paid off, I guess, so... It was. I think it's good, but I don't know. I definitely think James Gunn should come back for a sequel. But
yeah, I think so. I don't know if he would, though, especially with how this movie ends. But yeah, then we find out obviously our main characters in the movie are Bloodsport, King Shark, which is basically the characters we talked about in the non-spoiler review. That's why we didn't talk about any of the other characters because they're dead. So, I was surprised though that they did kill like especially like TDK and like Blackguard, or because they were played by famous actors. So I was like, or famous people in general. So I was thinking, okay, they've killed them, so anyone could die now. But then obviously we're introduced to our main character, who's Bloodsport, played by Idris Elba, who I loved. And Idris Elba's a great actor, anyways. But in this movie, he was amazing.
Yeah, he was great. I mean, we talked about this in the spoiler review. I mean, and we can delve into this a bit more. I wanted to talk about how he wasn't just a one-note character. They have the running jokes throughout the movie that he's scared of rats, but then he's acting like a badass. But then on the other hand, like in the next scene, he's like screaming funny because of rats.
And the stuff with his daughter as well, which I thought was interesting. But I've seen a lot of people say that maybe this was originally Deadshot, and they just kind of rewrote it around.
I could definitely see that. I can't lie. Yeah, I could definitely see that.
I mean, I could, but I don't think they did. I think this was like originally the plan. This is just a like coincidental similarity that that he had the whole thing with his daughter, and so did
Will Smith to Deadshot.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because I know a lot of people before the movie even came out thought that he, like before they announced the casting and all that, thought that he might have been playing Deadshot, like recasted, but he wasn't. So, which is good because I think he was a lot more interesting than Deadshot. He's a lot better character than he was.
Just better written overall, to be fair.
Yeah, and then obviously very quickly we're introduced to all the other members of the squad, like Peacemaker, who was one of my favourite characters in the movie, who had like a big twist at the end, which we'll talk about in a minute. King Shark, Ratcatcher 2, because obviously the original Ratcatcher played by Taika Waititi, which I forgot he was even in the movie before I watched it. Who else was there? There was it was Bloodsport, Peacemaker, King Shark, Ratcatcher 2, Polka Dot Man, and Rick Flag. Yeah. And then obviously Harley was in with the other team, who she's like the only one who survives. But yeah, that whole team was like, I thought they were all great characters.
Yeah, I thought.
Yeah, go on.
I think they made it like the chemistry between them as well was perfect. I think between all of them.
I've seen a lot of people talk about Rick Flag as well, like saying that he was a big improvement in this one. I've seen.
Oh,
I don't know why
great.
He's the character.
I thought he was great.
Yeah, I thought he was great as well, but I don't know why he's the one who's getting the most like kind of talk about him. I guess maybe it's because compared to the original, he was like a lot better. But well, yeah, I don't know. He was fairly similar.
Well, Captain Boomerang didn't get a chance to redeem himself. Captain Boomerang stayed alive. He might have been
Quinn
a bigger tour.
Basically, I mean, she's pretty similar. Just like I thought she was slightly less obnoxious.
I think in the original Suicide Squad, people didn't have a bigger problem with Harley Quinn than did with the other characters. I think that's what I think anyway.
I think it might be also because Rick Flag was basically just an exposition machine in the original Suicide Squad, where he just tells them like who's this character, who's this, who's that, like all that stuff.
Yeah,
so I think in this one it was better that he was actually doing interesting things.
Yeah, and like I said, with the chemistry, I think everything was great. Like even like between each individual person, I could legit name one thing that was great about each individual person. Like Bloodsport to Ratcatcher 2 was like he had a daughter, sort of father-daughter relationship thing with her. Like King Shark to Ratcatcher 2 was like their best friends. Peacemaker and Bloodsport rivalry kind of thing.
That was like the best thing in the whole movie, I think, with Peacemaker and Bloodsport, especially that scene in the jungle where they were like just shooting everyone's heads off and like shooting each other, like well, not each other, shooting at like the freedom fighters with the bow and arrow, which obviously they didn't know about the
that scene was hilarious.
Yeah, that was funny. But they're like trying to one up each other.
I felt like that scene went over a lot of people's heads, especially with the freedom fighters thing, because when we were sitting in the cinema, at least when I was sitting in the cinema when we went to go and watch it, there was about like, it wasn't too packed, there was probably like at least 10 people in there. And I think it completely went over everyone's heads that they killed the freedom fighters, because they mentioned it, but I don't think anyone was paying attention. But I like caught onto it, and it was just hilarious.
I'm surprised if people didn't catch on to it when I went to watch it. Everyone was dying at like half the funny scenes, which I thought was
I guess
funny.
It's just the type of audience you're sitting with, to be fair, but...
Yeah. But what's the squad... Yeah, go on. What were you saying?
I was going to say, nonetheless, a great scene.
Yeah. But obviously, once the squad reunites and like Rick Flag was with those freedom fighters too, and like they go get Harley, all that stuff. The middle of the movie, I think, is I could see where people might think it gets a little slow. Maybe I mean I know there's a lot of action as well, which I loved, but maybe like the parts when they're going to like the club and all that stuff, going to get Thinker, who I thought was pretty funny at times, maybe just because he reminded me of the Doctor.
Yeah, who's the bad guy in this movie, which obviously no one even knew.
Which I didn't know that he was. I mean, did they show that in any of the later trailers?
I'm not 100% sure, but as far as we were aware, we didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
But I wasn't too surprised. I wasn't too surprised because you know what? If you think about it, they did a very similar format with that, like in that situation they did with the first Suicide Squad, where they made Enchantress to be a part of the squad, like in the trailers, but then she was actually the bad guy.
Well,
in the
those
movie.
Trailers were advertising a completely different movie, I guess.
That's true.
To like what actually came out.
Yeah, you can make that point as well, but. I think it was obviously great. I think where you said the part where people say the movie went a bit slow, I think it was good because there was like loads of action, but I think
that's
those
what
slow
I mean.
scenes,
I like those moments to kind of break
gives
up
you the
the
break.
action. Yeah,
it gives you like a break, I guess.
And it also gave like a lot of development into the characters, like the stuff with Ratcatcher and Bloodsport specifically, where they kind of develop this like father-daughter dynamic almost, because obviously Bloodsport's doing all this because of his daughter, which is what they tell us at the beginning of the movie, and then the thing with Ratcatcher with her dad, which I thought was a great dynamic. So obviously they kind of have that interesting relationship, and it's kind of like a father-daughter sort of thing, because they're both kind of missing what each other want in a way.
Yeah.
Which I thought that was good. With those characters where Bloodsport is treating Ratcatcher like a daughter, and Ratcatcher kind of looks up to Bloodsport as a kind of father figure sort of thing. I thought that was good.
I think Bloodsport was just like the way they did him with like every character was brilliant. Like even the thing where they the relationship they had with Rick Flag, where they had a past where they were friends. I thought that was great.
Yeah.
And then
because I like the way they did that. I think James Gunn's like got a knack for that, where he kind of like has he's kind of good at bringing a bunch of random like weirdos together, basically, just making them all work really well. Because he did it with Guardians, and now he's done it with this, and I think that he did a good job both times.
Yeah, even the part I like the part at the start where what's her name? I keep forgetting her name. The one who like tries to blow him up with the switch.
Amanda Waller.
Yeah, even the part with her at the start where she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna make you a leader" and stuff, and then at the end she's like, "Well, you led the team," kind of thing. And then I thought all that was great with him, and so yeah, it's just a very good job. I'm still like, I'm still kind of like
in
quite
disbelief.
surprised of how good this movie was and how much I enjoyed it. So, I'm definitely want to go watch it again.
Yeah. I probably will eventually as well, because my brother hasn't seen it yet, so I might go watch it with him. But obviously, once the squad are all back together, they go to rescue Harley, which I think was leads to one of the best action scenes of the movie, where Harley she's like breaking free from being captured by those guys, and then she basically beats the crap out of everyone and kills them all. I saw some guy on Twitter complaining about it, saying like she had too much plot armor or something. Has he never seen a superhero movie in his life? Like, I mean, I feel like before that, the fact that she was getting beat up and electrocuted with a stick was like kind of not plot. I mean, I don't know. I guess she was like fighting loads of them, but she was like killing them pretty quick. I didn't really see it as plot armor. It wasn't like Black Widow, where she was like falling through the air at like 6 million miles an hour and somehow not dying, or like getting blown up in a car and just not like without a scratch.
Yeah,
it wasn't like that ridiculous. So I thought that whole fight scene was like really good with Harley and all those guys, and then especially when she gets the spear as well, she starts like smacking everyone, and there's like blood and all that stuff going everywhere. And I even had that part where it was like splats on the camera, which I thought that was pretty cool. It's like a kind of breaking the fourth wall sort of thing in a way.
I think there was loads of good little features like that in the movie, like the stuff with the title card was like 3 weeks ago, this, that, different locations where it was like naturally falling into place kind of thing. I think my favourite one, which is the one I remember, but I don't remember what it said, but it was a bunch of pipes and then it zoomed out. I thought it was great. I
remember the one where it said Operation Jotunheim, which is obviously the place they're going to, the big...
I think that was the one with the pipes. I think that was the one with the pipes.
I thought it wasn't that fire. It said Operation Jotunheim with fire.
Oh yeah, the fire. The fire
goes
with the
away.
Smoke on it.
Operation Harley, and then the fire blows out because of smoke. Says Operation Harley. I thought that was like really good. The way this movie's made is amazing. Like, I thought it was really unique. Like, I don't think I mean, obviously we've seen superhero movies very similar, like Guardians and stuff, but I don't think we've seen a superhero movie quite like this for a decent while.
I
think the way it was made is really good.
You know, when James Gunn's making movies like this, I feel like he has the right, because he did say in an interview recently that he finds most superhero movies boring. He definitely has a right to say that if he's making stuff like that. I mean, it was just so unique, and like we said in the non-spoiler review, it's just it's just fresh to see something like completely different. And it works as well. So.
And obviously it has similarities to other stuff. It's not like, especially the ending. I thought the ending was kind of similar to the Avengers, which we'll get to in a bit. I'll say why. But it was, like you said, it was like extremely fresh and very different kind of comic book movie that we haven't seen. But they obviously... Oh yeah, go on.
I was gonna go on, carry on, because I was gonna say let's talk about some proper spoiler stuff.
Okay, yeah. I was gonna say that once they've rescued Harley, obviously they go to that Jotunheim place. That's where everything basically kicks off. I mean, all the bit, like you were about to say, this big spoiler stuff, that all happens there.
Yeah, that's where all the end like big things happen, which we have to discuss about, which we'll get into now, I guess. So, the first thing I want to talk about there is, because I think there was a lot of stuff to do with King Shark there, so I just want to discuss that part, and then we'll get to the bigger stuff at the end. So, when I was saying everyone who's watched the non-spoiler review, when I was talking about one of the best action shots in the movie, which was actually shown in the trailer, but I completely forgot about it, was when King Shark rips the guy in half, and while he's doing that, it's raining, and
it's like a lightning strikes down.
I thought the rain was like, it set the scene pretty well as well, and then because you had that big group shot with it all walking through the mist and the rain, and that was at that part as well, and thought that was great. King Shark obviously gets a bit more development, where he finds his little fish friends, and he goes, dumb friends like me, and then they start trying to kill him later. I thought at one point he was gonna die.
I thought he was as well. I'm surprised he didn't, because
he didn't, and I'm kind of happy he didn't. Because even though I don't know if we're gonna see these characters for a while, at least there's like opportunities to bring them back. We'll see.
Yeah, they could even bring him back. I mean, I know they're not. I mean, I guess they're sort of heroes now because of what they do at the end of the movie, but they're not. They're not really typical heroes. Like, they could still be evil and fight the superheroes and stuff. When they carry on with Flash and all that stuff. Which, I mean, I don't know if I'd want the DCEU's version of Flash to fight King Shark, but I don't know. That's a different story, I suppose. But when they go to that place, they obviously put the bombs around everywhere and blow it all up. But there's a big thing with Peacemaker, because I guess the big twist with that is that Peacemaker isn't quite who they think he is, in a way, because he's working.
I guess
he's
still part of the squad, but yeah, he's been given special orders. I think that's what it.
Yeah,
sort of
because there's like a hard drive, but it's revealed that the mission isn't to go and stop Starro. It's to kind of go and basically cover up for the fact that the American government has been having their hand in all this. And I thought the imagery of that scene was like really creepy, but it was really good as well. Like, you know, when show, like,
that was so weird, but it was so like, I thought it was just it set the scene.
Like when they had the scene where the guy was like cut in half on the operating table, and then they had the Starro on his face, and the other ones were like no arms and no legs and stuff.
I think that one scene alone like is a better horror scene than most scenes in actual horror movies.
Yeah, like the imagery in it was like super disturbing, but it kind of made sense because obviously it's like a big kind of science like science kind of lab. I don't know why I said depot. I meant lab. A science lab where like people were being experimented on and stuff. It was like perfect. But then we see Peacemaker decides that this hard drive with data that proves that the US government was involved with it, he decides that it should go. Obviously, it shouldn't be released into the world. And that just leads to a bunch of chaos because then everyone basically starts killing each other. Because who was it that breaks Starro free? Who did that?
Wasn't it Thinker?
No,
Thinker doesn't break Starro free. Because there was 4 people in that scene. There was Peacemaker, Rick Flag, Ratcatcher 2, and the Thinker, and then Starro was there. Yeah. But it wasn't. No, Ratcatcher.
I remember. It blows up, doesn't it? Like the place blows up and Starro gets set free. I think.
Oh yeah, it blows up because of the. Remember the thing with Milton and all that, which we will talk about in a bit.
Oh yeah.
So I guess we should talk about that actually first, because that's what causes all that scene. So
yeah, I mean they had that afterwards in the movie. Like they have another great title card transition thing where it says 8 minutes earlier, and they show all that stuff. But they had a pretty funny joke there.
Yeah, to be fair, off the top of our heads, it's really hard to keep track of like what happens where because of all the title cards. Even then, it's that title card system was great, and like the shifting back and forth between the 2 different groups kind of thing. I thought that was great. But yeah, I guess the part they get to with Starro is that Rick Flag finds the documents, like we have to expose these to like say the government's done wrong, and that's when Peacemaker says I can't let you do that because obviously if you do it it'll break out, and then the US will basically be like
finished.
Like, I don't know, wars could break out and stuff, and then
and obviously even he had that line earlier in the movie which I thought was a great line. Because it kind of shows the character's intentions, where he says, "I don't care how many men, women, or children have to die as long as there's peace." He says that when they're in the jungle or something, and he obviously proves that with what he does on this scene.
Yeah, and then I guess then we have the really, really well made this is one of the best fights in a while, where you see Rick Flag and Peacemaker fight through Peacemaker's helmet, which is knocked off his head onto the floor. That was brilliant.
And they're beating the crap out of each other. And I thought John Cena was really good at that. I mean, obviously he's a pro wrestler, so he's going to be good at action. But even just like his acting throughout this whole part, like that was good when he's fighting Rick Flag, and obviously eventually, again, spoiler alert, I guess, I don't know why I'm saying that. He obviously kills him and like kind of stabs that rock into his chest, and then not Peacemaker, Rick Flag says to him like, "Peacemaker, what a joke," and then dies. I thought that was one of the best lines in the movie.
Yeah, that whole fight was great, and then obviously, then I think before he kills Rick Flag, that's when the explosion stuff happens, where we basically see King Shark. This is when he has his little fish friends moment. King Shark, Harley Quinn, Bloodsport, Polka Dot Man, and Milton. Milton is the one who's the like driver. He's like the taxi driver in Deadpool, basically.
Dopinder, except he doesn't live.
Yeah. He's like that basically in Deadpool, but he's like the Suicide Squad version. And Milton then dies because he gets shot. And then they have a whole conversation about why did no one notice Milton. And then this is where I thought Polka Dot Man had like best.
Were you about to say Pokemon, man?
Yeah, I'm saying Pokemon, man. But yeah, I think we've played too much Smash. But anyway, yeah. this is when Polka Dot Man has like, he has such a great like comedic scenes in the movie, but I thought this one was like really good, where he's like, Milton was my friend kind of thing, and then he just gets depressed and that's when he like really his action starts turning up, and he starts like throwing the dots at everyone. And
I don't know how they managed to make action with Polka Dot Man interesting, but it was actually really good. The way it was like visually done, but he's like burning people with his darts. It was so cool.
I thought the animation was really interesting as well when it was actually killing people. How
it was like floating towards them and it like put like little holes in them.
Because I thought it was gonna be like the dots were gonna act like knives, and they were just gonna go straight through. I thought so as well.
Yeah, it'd just be like a shuriken or something.
But it was like a burning kind of thing, and he explains it in the movie that it has this virus thing, and that's what causes it all, which is like an interdimensional virus or whatever, and that's why he keeps throwing up all those dots and stuff.
Yeah.
And I guess one thing with him we forgot to discuss in the movie is that the joke with his mom, where everyone just turns into his mom. Like,
that was hilarious. Yeah, that was funny.
And I guess we'll speak more about that at the end, because there was something about that at the end. And so the Milton guy dies, which is the taxi driver basically. And then we have this whole joke between Harley Quinn and Bloodsport, that Harley Quinn thinks Bloodsport's Milton and all this. And then I think one of the explosive devices actually accidentally triggers off, and then the whole building collapses.
When Polka Dot Man throws his like dots and it goes over I think it was Milton's explosive device or someone's, and it like triggers that, and then it's a chain reaction sort of thing where it blows the whole place up.
Yeah, and that's what leads to Starro escaping, number one, and then
getting ripped apart by him as well.
Yeah, Thinker getting ripped apart, and then the Rick Flag scene where they go into they fall into the rubble, and that's when they're fighting. Then we get like the scene where what happened? Oh, remember King Shark falls off the building, and then he starts beating the crap out of all of them. I'm like, one thing I was very confused with King Shark is that he's a shark. So, oh no, he's like a demigod, isn't he? That's why.
He's a Norway, whatever they call him.
Yeah. I was gonna say what confused me was he gets like shot, but there's no like bullet holes or anything, no blood or anything. The only blood you see from King Shark's
I guess, like little like cut things on him.
The only blood I remember seeing from King Shark's side is when his fish friends start biting the crap out of him.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you heard about when they start biting him? Yeah. There was like a bit there.
But when they were shooting him, there was nothing. And also, remember the scene beforehand, which we didn't mention, where he tries to eat Ratcatcher 2 before they, like, discipline him, kind of. Bloodsport starts shooting him and he goes flying, and then that doesn't, like, really cause any damage, so. But I guess he's a demigod. And I guess that's a cool concept, because he's just, like, he's a demigod, but he's, like, chilling, and he's just wearing, like, shorts and stuff, and he's just really dumb and stuff. And then, so yeah, after all that happens, that's what leads to the Rick Flag death, and then we get the part where Ratcatcher 2 and Peacemaker have like the chase down sequence where Ratcatcher 2 runs off with the hard drive
that he wants,
and then
I thought John Cena's acting in that scene is really good, where he like confronts her. I
think this is John Cena's best movie by far.
I saw him in Bumblebee. I thought he was fine, but I didn't watch F9, and I have no intention to, because I don't watch Fast and Furious. But I don't know if he was good at that.
I mean, he wasn't great. He was okay. I mean,
I guess he's playing Vin Diesel's brother. He doesn't need to put too much effort in.
Yeah, true. I mean, the acting in this from him was like really good by a mile off, and I guess that's why he's getting his own show as well. And we'll talk more about
I'm excited for now.
Yeah. So after that, we get the obviously chase down sequence. He's about to kill Ratcatcher 2. Ratcatcher 2 is like crying. Mostly really emotional scenes, which I didn't really find that emotional, but yeah, they had emotion in them. Well, with her, where she starts crying and stuff around different parts and places. But then we get the sort of the showdown between Bloodsport and Peacemaker, which obviously I guess they were kind of building up, but they were like talking about the bullets and stuff earlier in the movie, and that was brilliant. The way that was filmed as well, where the
bullet goes flying through the air. And
it was like kind of like a gunslinger moment where they both shoot,
like a western standoff sort of thing. Yeah,
which doesn't make any sense to me, this scene, a little bit, because Peacemaker always said, I use smaller bullets, but he had like a really fat bullet, and that's why he sort of got shot because of
Bloodsport. So that's probably why Bloodsport probably learned from him.
That's true.
Took a smaller bullet, but and then he shoots obviously the gun, and I don't understand how this really made any. Well, I mean, the part that does make sense is where it obviously goes through it because the whole smaller bullets thing, but then it kind of shoots Peacemaker in the neck, and he falls over obviously, and there's like blood spilling out of him and all that kind of stuff. How did that work?
Oh, should we just talk about the end credit scene bit now? I guess.
Yeah.
The second end credit scene is still alive, and that kind of sets up for his show. I don't really know how it works. I think we were all thinking very much similar things.
Especially
like how
since the building basically falls apart as well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess there's like two things to explain here. Either the bullet like skimmed his neck and like it was enough to like knock him out kind of thing, but it wasn't enough to kill him. Or the like government's like, I guess, doctors are so advanced that they just managed to save him, operate on him successfully. Because he doesn't look very, very mashed up when he's in the hospital.
Yeah, he does, to be fair, yeah.
He doesn't look like he got away, like, unscathed. So, I guess those are probably the most logical explanations. But, yeah, and again, another brilliant scene. And, that's, I guess that's when we get sort of to the final act and final sort of battle of the movie where Starro's free, he's shooting the stars at everyone, they infect all the soldiers.
That kind of reminded me, the part where I was saying it kind of reminded me of Avengers. It was kind of like the same as the Phantom Menace as well, where it's like one big kind of mothership sort of thing, or big monster or whatever they got to take out to kill all the smaller ones. Like how in the Avengers, where they blow up Thanos' ship thing, and the Chitauri all die, or in the Phantom Menace, they blow up the Trade Federation control ship, and then all the droids die. It was kind of like that. And especially with how all the city was getting destroyed, and there's a big monster running around, and they had to kind of take him out.
Not gonna lie, now that you say that, I can definitely see it, but you know when I was watching the movie, I didn't even think about that, it
just reminded me of that, especially visually as well, the way everything was kind of falling apart, and they were all, like, beating up all the little Starros. The Starro-infested people, I guess. And I assume I guess they're supervillains, so they don't really care, but when Bloodsport was shooting the people in the head with the Starros on them, I assume they were dying, right?
I don't think they were, because I'm guessing how it works was, when he was shooting them in the eye, it was just killing the Starro, and then the bullet would just, like, stop there, I guess. I don't think it probably...
Maybe. I don't know.
Because most of them end up getting, not even most of them, loads of them end up getting up at the end, like after the Starros just sort of just die, I guess. So I think so we might as well just talk about the final scenes of the movie.
Yeah. Well, one thing with the final scene, I was going to say, actually, go on, you explain it, and then I'll say it, because I think you're going to end up saying one. Going to explain?
I was just going to say it's a big, like, kind of a free-for-all, where it's just like, they're running through the city, they end up sort of, even though they're like being threatened that, you're going to be blown up if you walk away from this mission, walk away, kind of thing. You've got the hard drive.
I forgot about that part. Yeah.
I thought that part was really good, where they all joined Bloodsport at the end, and then that's obviously creating even more amazing chemistry between the team.
They smack Amanda Waller in the back of the head of the golf club.
That was beautiful. That was a great scene. She's just such an arsehole. Like, you're meant to hate her.
That's the point, though. Yeah,
like, you're meant to hate her.
It's so good, yeah.
I thought the way the character's made is really good, but she's just an arsehole, and you're meant to hate her. So when she gets smacked in the head with the back of a golf club, it was brilliant. And then the part where she goes,
I know which part, yeah.
She goes, "Get on the map, you dickhead," or she says something like that to the guy. I was funny, dying. And it just was. Yeah, it was really good. And then obviously we get the part where they're running towards Starro, big Starro, fighting off all the like infested people, and then then we get the big end scene, which I think everyone had a very
we had that one part before that, which I was like, wow. That was like, it was funny at first, and I was like, oh, okay. It was when Starro turns into Polka Dot Man's mum, and then he started like a giant version of her and just starts destroying the city. And then he like does something. I don't. What did he do? I don't remember what he did. But then I think did he shoot him or her, whatever, with the dots and like kind of shredded the leg off? He's like, "Yeah, I'm a superhero." And then
he goes, "Yeah, I'm a superhero." Like, and he's just squashed.
Yeah, that was. Oh, I was like, "Oh God." That was like that was pretty sad dark. Funny scene.
But it was like pretty dark. It was like weird, but it was like I think it was well made because it's kind of like his depression was over because he realized he's a superhero, and as soon as he got happy, he died. So he died happy, I guess. And
yeah, that's true.
Obviously, they played the depression off thing in the whole movie. He's just really depressed. So when you see him happy again, and then when he killed him off. Bloody hell, I wasn't even expecting that. I was like, that was complete, like, for me, that was completely out of nowhere, how they just killed him off. Like,
I was expecting it.
I thought that was going to be the final squad, like, that's just, like, they're the ones who are going to survive. But, you know, I guess they were, like, saying in the movie that, like, before the movie, don't get too attached, because, you know, anyone can die
like
anytime.
The tagline, yeah.
And, yeah, so I think everyone had a really good part, like, to play in the final scene. We get the scenes with Harley Quinn where she jumps into the main sort of Starro eye and then she's like drowning. And then we get I like this part where like Bloodsport, he was using his gadgets so much throughout the whole movie. By the end of the movie, he just didn't have any more, so he decided to start using hand-to-hand combat. I think it was really good. And then obviously, Polka Dot Man had his big sort of happy moment
the thing,
for his death.
But I was saying before about Avengers, now you just reminded me about that. It kind of reminded me of Avengers like that as well, where he basically said to, like the part where he said to King Shark that there's your food or whatever.
Hulk smash that scene.
Yeah, that reminded me of that. And then also the part where they were like all just doing individual things. That's kind of like Avengers, but Captain America tells them all to go and like do their thing. Which I'm not saying it was a rip-off or anything. I'm just saying it was similar. Like I like love both of the movies anyway, so it doesn't bother me.
Yeah, I'd see the resemblance, but I guess with those sort of big brute characters, there's only like a certain amount of ways you can do them.
Yeah,
and it's going to cross paths. Yeah, like the way it's done in certain like different movies is going to overlap. Like it's like the thing with Guardians of the Galaxy where Groot's like this big
dumb brute
that can't
thing,
that can't talk, and it's done very similar with King Shark this movie, but but I think they're both like very good in their own respective ways, and even though there's similarities, definitely big differences which make each character unique. But like I said, with the big dumb brutes, there's like obviously going to be parts where like there's going to be times where they cross paths in terms of similarities. So yeah, I think it's a bit hard to avoid. But I think everyone gets their part to play in that scene. And then ultimately at the end, it's Ratcatcher 2 who basically takes Starro down with the
with all the rats. They had that good scene where they had Taika Waititi's character, obviously the original Ratcatcher, who he said something. He had that line which I really liked, where he says like, "Rats are the loneliest creatures of us all," or something. And if they have a purpose, so do we all, or something like that.
Oh yeah. I think that was the big sort of emotional, maybe a bit of a tear-jerking kind of scene.
Yeah, like emotional payoff, and then obviously all the rats kind of come and kill Starro. But the thing that I was, not me, my friend Matthew brought it up. Shout out to you, Matthew, if you're watching. Why didn't she do that earlier? I guess that's like I don't know if there's like I had some explanation for this, but I don't remember what it was. But
I feel like it could be something to do with the rats, like how she can't access them at all times.
Possibly.
Maybe like because some areas are restricted. Because say if she wanted to take them into the, let's say for example, the bunker that Star was trapped in, just to kill him off there and then. Say if she called them, they would have all fell off the edge of the bunker and just died before they hit the bottom. Kind of thing. So maybe, I guess it might have been something similar like that, I guess. I'm not sure. It is a good point though, but I guess that's pretty much it. Then Starro dies. And then the main other part after that is that Bloodsport says we're not going to leak the files as long as you let us go free. But then Ratcatcher 2 obviously has a problem with that and like looks at him and then he goes, we can't have everything, we've just saved the world kind of thing. But then again, there's like, for me, there's like another like kind of a problem. Not a problem, but it's like another one of those explanations. Like, why couldn't you just call like Superman or Wonder Woman or any other hero? They could have legit just come and like probably punched Starro through the face or the eye, and then just punched him and he just would have died instantly. But I guess Superman was in the ICU, I guess maybe. Cause I don't know. I think though, like, I don't like to think about that too much, cause then it might open up a bit of a problem. But overall, the movie was great, and then like everything sort of, most of it made sense. There's like little nitpicks which we picked out, but they can all be explained with logical reasons. And I like the part at the end though, which we haven't mentioned, where Bloodsport's daughter was like, "Oh, my dad's a superhero," kind of thing. Yeah, I like that part at the end as well. And then we get the thing with Amanda Waller, which has the ice pack on her head. That part was good as well. And pretty much that's really the end of the movie, I think. Yeah, they have obviously the scene with Weasel that we talked about, the scene with Peacemaker that we talked about. But I'd love this movie. I've seen a lot of people complaining about it, saying, "Oh, it's grotesque. It's like it's over the top." It's a Suicide Squad movie. It's kind of the point. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what people were really expecting going into this, thinking that it's going to be some like. Did they think it was just going to be like some happy-go-lucky kind of non-violent, non-messed up movie? It's called the Suicide Squad. I mean, with the word suicide, you pretty much just explain everything. I mean, I guess maybe they were expecting the first one again, which was awful, but thank the Lord we didn't get that. Let's hope, let's hope we won't get anything like that again in the bloody future as well. I mean, I think that, like, that's another one of the problems with the, people going to, like, it's a similar problem with, Loki, at the end of Loki, how there was, like, obviously Kang was basically there, but people who don't know who Kang is were like, this is very underwhelming. Don't know anything about that character, Like, and it was I think there's the same problem with this movie with people that don't know anything about Suicide Squad or have watched the first movie and like base their expectations off that, because the first movie people who didn't look up what this movie was going to be and like see that it was all gory and violent and stuff. Yeah, they just went to go and watch it. Yeah, they didn't come into this because I saw a lot of people complaining as well, like, oh, it's rated too low for a 15 or whatever. I don't agree with that. I mean, it's just like it's a movie. It's not. I kind of take the same stance that Quentin Tarantino and Samuel L. Jackson take on this, where it's a movie, it's fantasy, it's not real. So I don't see how that like would really matter. I think same thing with video games. I think if they did a few more things and pushed a few more things to the edge, I think I would have said it should have been rated 18. But the fact of the matter is they didn't do those things, so it's like it was violent, but I think it just like exceeded people's violent expectations. And like I said, if you don't know anything about Suicide Squad, you probably weren't expecting it, and that's like again a problem with like some people who aren't fans of comics and stuff. Not like knowing what to expect. But I still think it was done really well. Of course, like even people who don't know the comics and stuff, I've seen a lot of praise from people who aren't familiar with this, like this concept. So I mean, pretty much everyone in like not on the internet, like in real life that I've spoke to, pretty much all of them that I've spoke to who've seen it loved it. So like regardless if they know a lot about DC or not. Oh yeah. I think there is still very mixed opinions out there. But overall, like, what an amazing movie. Obviously, if you haven't seen it, I don't know why you're watching this video, but thanks for watching anyway. But go and watch the movie. Yeah. Have you decided if you like it more than Zack Snyder's Justice League yet? I still need to watch both of them. I still need to watch both of them again, because I want to watch the Suicide Squad again, because I watched Zack Snyder's Justice League and I still love it, so I want to see if I've seen like, you know, when I was thinking about it, and it was weird, so I was thinking about it, and then, you know, I went onto Instagram, was like casually scrolling, and I came across the scene, you know, the end scene where they kill Steppenwolf. I was like, what a great scene. And then I was like, wow, I'm really conflicted which one I like more. And then I don't know which one, but because
Okay, I'll say this. I don't know which one's better, but I'd rather watch the Suicide Squad again only because it's shorter. Like, I wouldn't want to watch Zack Snyder's Justice League all in one like stretch. If I had to watch one, like again, just in one go, obviously the Suicide Squad is the one I'd go for, which isn't a fair comparison because Zack Snyder's Justice League is like double the length. But
yeah,
I don't really know what that says, if that says anything. But
I think the length definitely gives it an advantage. Just like such a good of a movie.
Yeah, especially for like casual audiences who don't really care about Zack Snyder's vision or care about. I know that's hard for some of the Snyder fanboys to hear, that some people don't care about Zack Snyder's vision. Oh god, that's like blasphemy to them. But
yeah,
if some people don't care about that or they just don't want to see a long movie, then this is here for you. DC's having a good year, man. This, Superman and Lois, Zack Snyder's Justice League, everything's going good for them. Marvel did step up their game, man, this year. I mean, I actually, no, we got Loki, I can't say that, but I mean...
Yeah. I mean, we've got What If coming out as well.
Yeah, stay tuned for the review on that on Wednesday when that comes out. And
Fandom's coming back soon as well.
October, so more DC stuff then.
DC, yeah. Could we see? Oh, we'll probably see more about Peacemaker, which we haven't actually spoke about. One thing I wanted to say just before the video ends about the Peacemaker thingy, end credit scene, is that they said the people who were like working with Amanda Waller, like the tech crew, they said we need him to save the world. So I don't know what that's saying. I don't know if that's I don't know if that's just like a general phrase or if that's like something's happened and they need him to go on thingy. But I had like a cool idea where it was like he could go and try and hunt down each member of the Suicide Squad that was in the movie, because he obviously hates all of them now. And then like the last finale thing could be Bloodsport.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure. I guess we'll see how they play that out. And has there been a release date announced for that?
Next year, I think. I don't really know for sure.
I think it's sometime next year, but yeah, Peacemaker will return in his own show. We're not sure about any of the other Suicide Squad. But yeah, what a great movie. And then if you have watched it, just let us know what you think about it.
Yeah, and if you haven't, then go and watch it, even if we've already spoiled it for you. Just please watch this movie, it's really good.
Yeah, it's definitely still worth watching, even if you have had it spoiled, I think.
Yeah, I agree. So, I guess that's about it. So, if you guys did enjoy this video, be sure to hit the like button to share it around YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button for more videos like this. Be sure to check out our Instagram and Twitter, links in the description. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time. See ya.